A very good afternoon to my all lovely dear students. So once again, we all are ready for the last class on behalf of ICI in front of you for CA Foundation. Today, we will be completing our syllabus. We will be winding up the company's law part 2. And whatever doubts are left, we'll try to complete it today itself. So, very good afternoon, Apurva, Om Gupta, Amit, Bhumika, Khushi, Asha, Parth, Maurya. I hope you all are equally excited as I am excited, and the feelings are mutual. You're sitting with your pens, papers ready, with your study material ready, and we're going to finish off the syllabus today. Good afternoon, Sneha, Narendra Bhai, Komal Preet, Anant Goyal, Shruti, Sanjana, Aditi, Navya, Deepika, all of you, Priyanka, Ritu, Swati, and all of you children, a very, very good afternoon. So I hope all my students have revised the types of companies that we did in the last class. So before others are joining, by the time they will join, let's have a quick quiz. So good afternoon, all of you. Yes, Sanjana, the feelings are mutual, and don't worry. Whether he goel, we'll try to complete the syllabus and just be consistent in your timetable. I have been telling you, keep making down your notes. Today also, we will be discussing about different types of companies, important aspects of memorandum and articles. Please, students, make your notes today itself. Mark flow charts where there are so many penalties, something you have to learn in detail. Use different color pencils or maybe a sketch pen or a color pen to make your notes very, very creative. So you remember that you have highlighted in the pink color memorandum of association. You remember the particular case law. Highlight the case law of articles of association in a green color. All these are the small tips in order to help you to recall and remember whatever you have studied in the class. Great, all of you have written revised. Yes, Sneha Singh, definitely, that's very true. Aniket, no, we have the class at 2 to 4 only. I don't know why you're saying the schedule is showing some another time. All right. So, all right. Let's move ahead. So, I hope you all are ready for the quiz. So, quickly tell me the maximum number of members that we can have in a private limited company. Yes, answer me. Good afternoon, Jia Walias, Manoj Singh. Thank you so much, Manoj Singh. Even I'm going to miss all of you. Holding and subsidiary repeat kar dijiye. Okay, whether he goel, we will definitely repeat that. But quickly answer me, students. Maximum number of members we can have in a private limited company. Meanwhile, I'll just open the presentation for all of you. Okay. So you have to choose. We already have this question for all of you here as well. So 200 is the correct answer. Wonderful students. Very nice. All of you have almost given the correct answer. Now, the fifth one in front of you, please read the question. Minimum number of members in a private as well as public company can be how much? Aditi Shaw, you have answered correctly, but maximum is the 200 limit. So that's correct. Definitely, Deepika, once we are done with the syllabus, we will talk about that as well. Answer me the question number 5, quiz question. How many minimum numbers? 4C. Oh my God. Aniket and Komalpreet, you're wrong. Sahana is also wrong. Minimum number of members in case of public and private company. Okay, 4C is correct, but I'm asking for fifth question now. I'm so sorry. I thought you were saying 5C. So 5B is the correct answer. Very good. Yes, Ankit Gupta, that's correct. 2 and 7 are the correct answers. Now, another question that I wanted to ask you is, what are the conditions for a small company? Do you remember small company? We'll start from here, holding and subsidiary. Quickly tell me how much should be the paid up capital and turnover in order to be a small company. अब जो लोग तो देर लगाएंगे वो फटाफट से स्टडी मटेरियल खोलकर चेक करेंगे और जो सबसे पहले आंसर भेजेगा दैट मीन्स उसने रिवाइज करा है. 5B is the correct answer, students. 4C and 5B both are the correct answers. So let me see who sends the answer correct for which is a small company. Quickly send the conditions. So what is the paid up capital and the... Yes, Vedahi Goel, correct. Komal Preet, correct. So Miss Sahana says 4 crore and 40 crore. So that is the upper limit that we have done in the amendment. Kavya, you are also writing 4 crore. So this is the twist that I wanted you to revise and learn. Children, the minimum paid up capital limit, if somebody asks you what is the limit, कब उसे small company कहा जाएगा? अगर उसकी paid up capital less than 50 lakhs है and the turnover is less than 2 crores, then we call it a small company. So those Manoj Singh and Vidisha, Asha Begum, those who are writing 4 crores, 40 crores, bacha, that is the upper limit. Okay, let me just show you in the study material once. So that is your upper limit that you have to mention. Okay, so this is your small company. So the paid up capital should not be more than 50 lakhs and turnover should not be more than 2 crores. Here we have revised the 4 crores and 40 crores. So here it has been revised. It says, or such higher amount as may be prescribed shall not be more than 4 crore. तो अगर आपसे मिनिमम लिमिट पूछी जाए तो मिनिमम 50 लाख से नीचे जिसकी है, अगर गवर्नमेंट चाहे तो इस लिमिट को बढ़ाकर 4 करोड़ कर सकती है. बट अभी की जो लिमिट है दैट इज 50 लाख रुपीज. एंड व्हाट इज द लिमिट फॉर द टर्नओवर? इट इज 2 करोड़ रुपीज. As may be prescribed, it shall not be more than 40 crore. That is the upper limit. So all those who had the confusion in the last class, 4 crores and 40 crores is the upper limit that has been set for the small companies. But what is the actual lower limit for your small companies is that your paid up capital should not exceed 50 lakhs and your turnover should be less than rupees 2 crore. So this is what you have to remember when small company question is asked. Is that clear? All those who have written 4 crores and 40 crores, I hope. Yes, Sarshita, we did a question in the previous class as well. That's good. And it can't be Section 8 companies. Very good, Miss Sanjana Israni. It can never be a Section 8 company. And it can never be a holding and subsidiary company also. 50 lakh and 4 crore. Jolly Joseph, it is 50 lakhs, the limit for paid up capital, and the limit for turnover is 2 crores. Please, children, write it down correctly. Somebody is writing 5 crore. Shriya Vishwakarma, why are you writing 5 crore? It is 50 lakhs for the paid up capital and it is 2 crores for the turnover. ये जो छोटे notes यहाँ पर significant points, study material has so beautifully designed the flow charts and summaries of each type of company. Just go through this very nice. And small company is always a private company. You can never open up a public company as a small company. Okay, it will always be a private company. Shruti Tiwari, your answer is absolutely correct. Kavya, your answer is correct. Earlier it was 2 crore. Now it has been exceeded to 40 crores. So less than 2 crores, but not more than 40 crore is the correct answer. Good, Kavya. 50 lakh to 2 crores. Oh my God. I hope now you have understood what I have written. Section 8 companies is something which we are going to do today. Chanchal, Section 8 companies are the NGOs, non-profit organizations, which are having a charitable purpose as a motive in order to move ahead. All right. So public and private company also we have done. We also had a quick revision. Let us quickly revise holding and subsidiary. When we will do the question paper from the examination question paper, there we'll have a revision of holding and subsidiary. Now let's move to the associate companies. Let me just come. So this is what we have done if we are controlling the composition of board of directors or I'm having more than 50% share capital holding in your company, then I become holding and you become my subsidiary. And what is associate company, ma'am? Association में क्या हो रहा है? How are we associated with each other? Here, associate company, we have to see the significant influence. Influence करना means किसी को प्रभावित करना. Means how much I'm influencing, how much I'm trying to control your business decisions and your agreements. If I'm holding 20% of your total voting powers in another company, or I'm participating in their business decisions. So there is a company, AB Private Limited. Whatever business it does, the decisions are being taken by C Limited. So how the business will be run, how the sales and purchase will be made, how the employees will be appointed, how the business will be done, everything is in the control of C Limited. In such a case, C Limited and AB Limited will become associate companies, not holding and subsidiary. So if I'm participating in the business decision of another company, number one, then I become an associate company. Or I'm having a significant influence also means that I'm holding more than 20% of the share capital in another company. What was the condition for holding in subsidiary? In that case, the condition was more than 50% of the share capital. So here, if I'm holding at least 30% of your share capital and participating in your business decisions, then we both become the associate company. And if there is any joint venture, both the companies have jointly opened any venture, then also they are considered as the associate companies. The only exception is you should not be having any fiduciary relationship. So if there is any trustee and beneficiary, they are having a fiduciary relationship, they will never be considered as an associate companies. But other than that, if 20% of the voting right and participation or I'm participating in a business decision. So this or is very important. So either of the things are happening, we both become the associate companies. So if I ask you, significant influence constitutes how much percentage of the total share capital or business decisions, how much percentage I have to contribute? Is it 2%, 10%, 2.5 or 20%? So what is the meaning of significant influence? Come on, tell me. Good. Role in decision making. That's great. Okay, that's good. 6D, at least 20% of the shareholding should be in the hand of another company. So in this one, 6D is the correct answer. All of you have mentioned it correctly. So any company who is, so let me give you an example. So if ABC Private Limited is holding 35% of the share capital of CD Limited. So there is a private limited company. ABC Private Limited is holding 35% of the share capital of CD Limited. So does ABC Limited becomes a holding company? Yes or no? Will ABC Private Limited become a holding company? So Swati and together, if they are holding, they will become associate companies together. Whether he says yes, ABC Private Limited becomes a holding company. Okay, how? Please give me reasons for yes and no, children. Yes, will the ABC Private Limited, if it's holding 35% of the share capital, will it become your holding company? Yes, ma'am, or no, ma'am? Tell me. No, ma'am. So what relationship it has? It is not holding company. Very good, Jia Walia. For holding company, minimum 50% of the share capital is required. Munish, Bindal, Sneha, Apurva, Vedant, Swati, Deepika, all of you are correct. Vidisha, they excellent. No, ma'am, they don't become holding, they become associate company. Okay, that's great. No, it will become associate company. Bhumika, P. Yamini, Anjali, Amar Prajapati, all of you are correct, children. Good. So well understood. Now let's move to the most important types of company. Listed and non-listed companies कौन सी होती है जिनकी security stock exchange पे listed है? So you can see the National Stock Exchange trading word that you have been hearing. investments that we do and sale and purchase of shares we do in the companies. Here, when we do sale and purchase of the securities, those securities which are listed on the National Stock Exchange, the companies whose securities are listed are known as listed companies, and the companies whose securities are not listed are known as unlisted companies. Then another very, very important concept here, you can see the picture of a government company that I'm trying to show you. What is actually a government company? A government company is also very interesting, students. At least 51% of the share capital is held by central government or partly by the state government and also any subsidiary of a government company. So अगर government company की कोई subsidiary है, subsidiary कैसे होगी? If I'm holding more than 50% of the share capital, then that subsidiary will also become government company. If I'm holding 50% of the share capital is being held by central government or by state government or together by central and state government, then also it is considered as a government company. So if I tell you there is a company ABC Limited and its 30% shareholding is held by central government. I'm not holding 51%. Central government is holding 30% of the share capital in this company. And %25% of the share capital of this company is held by state government. Can we say ABC Private Limited is now a government company? Yes or no? And why? एक कंपनी है एबीसी लिमिटेड जिसकी कैपिटल 30% कैपिटल सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट ने होल्ड करी हुई है, सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट की इन्वेस्टमेंट है, एंड 25% स्टेट गवर्नमेंट इज होल्डिंग इट्स शेयर कैपिटल. Can we call this company a government company? Yes, ma'am, or no, ma'am, and also why, ma'am? Tell me, students. Because government has more than 50% shares. Total, they are holding more than 51%. Very good, Apurva. Maurya, Narendra Bhai. Excellent answer. Tanvi, yes, it becomes a government company. Excellent, all those who have answered yes. Very good, students. Madhulika is asking if paid up capital is 50 lakh, then what is 4 crore, ma'am? Bacha, please now listen again, once again, Madhulika, you are raising a question about small company. Small company mein bache, the paid up capital should be less than 50 lakhs and turnover is less than 2 crores, then you become a small company. It says or any higher limit as may be prescribed. तो अगर गवर्नमेंट चाहे तो वो 50 लाख को 4 करोड़ तक इंक्रीज कर सकती है, बट अभी करा नहीं है. That is the upper limit for you to learn when you learn the definition. So what I have to learn, ma'am? 50 lakh the minimum limit, or it can be increased up till 4 crore. 2 crore is the minimum limit, or it can be increased up till 40 crore. That's it. This is what you have to learn. Okay? I hope Miss Paulineni, now the doubt is clear. Yes, Khushi, that's correct. Tasha, correct. Good, बच्चों, आज तो बहुत अच्छे आंसर्स आ रहे हैं. Wonderful. Can you explain government company again? What is 51%? So 51% is the shareholding. Let us go to the study material and wonderful answers given by everyone. So एक बारी study material में से भी चलकर detailed उसकी पढ़ लेते हैं summary what it is written over there. And students, once again, I'm repeating in the last class today. Don't leave a single line from the study material. Study material is the Bible for all of you. You have to learn each and every thing that we have done from the study material. It is very, very important to go through everything. Not a single line you can leave from the study material. Okay. So if I ask you, first of all, associate company that we have done section 2, and sections are again not important as far as CA foundation is concerned. You can leave the sections as of now. CA inter में mandatory है sections learn करना. Case laws के names जो भी हमने case laws class में करें, please try to learn the names, try to memorize. Children in foundation, you have very few case laws. And definitely it creates a very good impression in front of the examiner when you write the case law also as a reference. But never ever write a wrong case law and a wrong section. If you don't recall, better don't write it. Okay. So let's have the associate company over here. So significant influence का meaning दिया हुआ है 20% of the share capital. or we are participating in the business decisions. Any one of the things you're doing, you become an associate company. Joint venture means joint arrangement. Together, we have decided to open up the business. We are having the rights in the net assets of the arrangement. It is an associate company. Now, what is the meaning of total share capital? किसका 20% करना? उसने कहा 20% of the share capital. What share capital? So the share capital will include the paid up equity share capital plus the convertible preference share capital. So if the examiner has given you 10,000 equity share capital, 20,000 convertible preference share capital, 30,000 non-convertible preference share capital, and it says I'm holding 20% of the share capital in this company, तो किसका 20% हम करेंगे? We will do 10,000 plus 20,000, 30,000 का 20%, that is 6,000 shareholding he is having, this company is having. So for the purpose of calculating, we have to take up total paid up capital and the convertible preference share capital. I just told you any fiduciary capacity relationship will not be considered. It is excluded, will not be counted for the purpose of determining the relationship. So let's do example number 5 together. Let's reduce it a bit. So A Limited is a public company and it holds 23% of the share capital in B Limited and 15% of the share capital of C Limited. So A Limited is a public company, share capital 23% B Limited ki hold kar raha and 15% of C Limited. Now, because it is holding more than 20%, therefore B Limited is also known as the associate company. Why? Because it is holding more than 20%. Will C Limited will also become associate company? No, ma'am, because it is holding less than 20%. Hence, there is no significant influence. But if they would have said that A Limited is holding 15% plus participating in the business decisions of C Limited, then yes, ma'am, it would have been the associate company. As far as the shareholding virtue is considered, then only A and B are the associate company. A and C are not the associate company. Clear हो गया? Listed and unlisted companies को भी अच्छे से learn कर लेना. It is very important. It says what is the meaning of word securities, ma'am? Ma'am, you just said that the securities which are listed in stock exchange. What is securities? So word securities is defined by Securities Contract Regulations Act. क्या हमने वो डेफिनेशन करनी है? बेटा हमने वो एक्ट भी नहीं पढ़ना, हमने वो डेफिनेशन भी नहीं पढ़नी, बट हमें पता होना चाहिए कि what is the meaning of securities. Securities for listed company are defined under Securities Contract Regulation Act. When you move ahead in CA Inter, you go to CA Final, there you will study about Securities Control Contracts Regulation Act. This is a separate act which regulates all the listed companies. It provides SEBI, आपने नाम सुना होगा, Securities and Exchange Board. So whether the companies are listed or they want to list their securities in consultation with Securities and Exchange Board, इसकी short form होती है SEBI, shall not be considered as listed companies. Okay, so we have to take in consultation with the SEBI whether we have decided to list the securities or not. That is how the listed companies are framed. So example 6 एक बार देख लेते हैं. Scan Steel Rods Limited is a public limited company whose shares are listed in the stock market. Simple. जिसके shares stock exchange पे listed है. Reliance की shares stock exchange पे listed है, तो it becomes a listed company. So any public or private company any public limited company can be a listed company if their securities are listed on the stock exchange. The Kolkata Stock Exchange is a recognized stock exchange and securities were listed, therefore it becomes a listed company. The reason for calling it listed is because company and stock exchange has signed a listing agreement for trading of shares in the capital market. So basically listed word का meaning क्या होता है? Why do you call it listed? Because stock exchange market and this company have signed an agreement. That agreement is known as listing agreement. And वो कहते हैं कि आपकी securities यहाँ पे capital market में आप trading कर सकते हो. What is the meaning of trading? When you invest in the shares, you wait for the price to rise, you sell the securities, the money market that you're earning from the capital markets, the money that you earn, that is called listing, that is called trading of the stock market. पता है आप सबको trading क्या होता है ना? तो जिन सिक्योरिटीज में आप ट्रेडिंग करते हो वो उन कंपनीज को बोलते हैं लिस्टेड कंपनीज. कंपनीज अदर देन लिस्टेड और अनलिस्टेड कंपनीज जिसकी सिक्योरिटीज एक्सचेंज पे लिस्टेड नहीं है उनको अनलिस्टेड कंपनीज कहते हैं. सिंपल. Now let's come. Government companies also clear children 51% of the share capital. A beautiful diagram is given in the study material. As it is, learn it. 51% of the capital by central government or state government or partly by both of them. हमने partly का example भी कर लिया. अगर सारा का सारा central government के हाथ में 51% control, then also it's a government company. If central government has nothing to do, entire 51% is in the hand of state government, then also it becomes a government company. Simple. Which is a foreign company? You open up a company in USA. So let me take the names of my students who are very sincere and good students. Swati. Okay. Unlisted, Swati and unlisted. The companies whose securities are not listed, simple, they will become unlisted. So Swati and Jolly Joseph opened up a company in US. Where have they opened up a company? They have opened up. Incorporated means company को form करना, company बनाना, company open करना. They have incorporated a company in USA and they have a place of business in Delhi. So they opened up a company in USA and Jolly Joseph said that I want to have a place of business in Delhi. And now they're doing business also in this Delhi office. So they opened up a company in USA and they have a place of business in India, that is in Delhi. We are operating in Delhi also. Can we call this company of Jolly and Swati a foreign company or not? सब आगे मैम मेरा नाम आपका भी नाम लिया जाएगा. डोंट वरी. पहले मुझे ये बताओ. ओके गुड. अनुष्का. Anshika Jain, in consultation with SEBI and Jolly Joseph, you're also asking, means they have to decide with Securities and Exchange Board of India how the listing has to be done. I told you we don't have to go into much of the details, just the simple definition, that's it. Examiner can only give you a 2 marks question out of listed and unlisted companies. उतनी सी definition हमने learn करनी है, ज़्यादा detail में नहीं जाना. Okay? Tanmoy Malik, mixed definition means, what are you asking? Now, please tell me, students, can we say that if they have opened up a foreign company, yes, ma'am, or no, ma'am? Why I'm not getting your answers? Can we say a company which is incorporated outside India, but they have a place of business in India and they are doing business also from that? Then it is known as a foreign company. I can't get your answers, student. All right, great. All those who have written, yes, ma'am, it's a foreign company. That's great. So all of you have understood how the foreign companies are formed. Please, isko and ko bold mark kar lena. You must be doing some business activity also from that Indian office. If you have just opened up an office and you're not doing any business, then it will not be a foreign company. It must also be doing any kind of business from this particular foreign company. Now let's move to the favorite topic, one of my favorites and as well as very, very important topic, that is formation of companies with the charitable objects. What are Section 8 companies? So earlier when we had students, Companies Act 1956, these companies were known as Section 25 companies. अगर आप अभी भी किसी पुरानी बुक्स में देखोगे तो ये चैरिटेबल ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस जो थी, they were defined under section. Let me have some water. They were defined under Section 25 companies. Now, Companies Act 2013 has transferred those Section 25 companies and the name that has been given is the Section 8 companies. Now, Section 8 companies are the companies for promoting the charitable objects of commerce, art, science, sports, education. Now, Tanmoy and Jia Walia and Tanmoy They thought that we have been like good CA foundation students. They have been studying about Section 8 companies, and they decided, why not let's open up a company and promote some kind of sports. We should encourage people to come forward and, play badminton. So they are promoting this badminton as a game, and they wanted to set up a company for promotion of sports, encouraging the students who can't afford to pay the fees and other things. They want to encourage them that they should come forward and play. They want to promote any kind of sports, or maybe they want to promote female education, that the education is must. They wanted to set up a company where the people from the low rural areas, they should be given free education. So they decided that, okay, fine, let's open up an education a company for them, which will provide specific teachers for taking up classes for those kind of students. Now, Jia Walia and Tanmoy has decided to open up a company. Just a second, students, excuse me, sir, the query section, it's not working, it's not sending answers. Please help in this. Yeah, it's saying the site has stopped working. All right. Okay, never mind. There's some technical error at the end of the admin queries. It's getting solved. Meanwhile, you just pay attention over here. Okay. So it says now this kind of company that both of them has formed, they will set up a Section 8 company. Why, children? Because they have a charitable objective. They are not doing any commercial transactions. Their purpose over here is to set up a charitable organization for promotion of the welfare of education or for the welfare of sports. Here they are trying to do a charity kind of. Here they will be using, whatever profits this company will be earning, it will be using for promoting its objects, and they are not prohibiting means they are not supposed to pay the dividend to its members. So Jia Wali and Tanmoy, this kind of business that they will do, they will get the fees, endowments, and charities from the public. And then whatever income that they're getting, whatever revenue they're earning, they will use it for promoting its object. They will provide the education facility. They will pay to the teachers so that free education is provided to the people of rural area. And if any surplus is left, they will not get any dividend. Dividend will not be paid to the members. Why? Because it is a charitable kind of organization. It cannot have a profit motive. It cannot have commercial transactions. What are the examples of Section 8 companies? SOCHAM, National Sports Club of India, CII, all these kind of associations, organizations which are opened up for promotion. National Sports Club का क्या purpose है? वो promote करती है कि लोग आगे बढ़े, sports को अपनी hobbies बनाएं, sports को promote करते हैं, mental health को, mental well-being को, yoga से related इतनी सारी Section 8 companies बनाई जा रही हैं just to encourage people to promote their mental health as well as physical health as well. So all these kind of organizations are known as Section 8 companies. Now, why do you say, ma'am, Section 8 companies are very important? This is the reason why it is important, because central government will have the power to issue a license for this company. Section 8 is not a very ordinary public or private company. For opening this kind of company, you need the permission of central government. So now these people, Tanmoy and Jia Walia, they will go to the central government. They will ask that we have this documentation, the papers that we are going to file. This is the objective for which we want to open. Are we allowed? Can we open up a company? Is the name that we are getting registered is fine? All the formalities needs to be taken permission from the central government. If central government permits, then only these people will form an association of persons, and they have limited liability. Ma'am, is Section 8 company unlimited? No, bacha, it is always a limited liability. However, words limited and private limited are not used. So they will simply open up a company. For example, education company will be opened. They can say JT Education Company, but word limited and private limited will not be used, children. Why? Because central government will issue a license and these names are not used. It has a limited liability company. Second thing is registrar will register you as a company under the section. So general, जैसे हमने section 9 आज पढ़ना है, how the registration of company is done, like this only. Section 8 companies will also get themselves registers and they will get the benefits of a limited company. Limited companies कौन सी होती थी children? You have done two types of limited companies. What were those? Oh, thank God it's working now. Yes, all of you have sent the correct answer for the previous one. वो तो मुझे मिल ही गया था आपका. And section 8 are like non-profit organizations. Yes, Anand Goyal, SOCHAM. Listing of securities, no Ankit Gupta. Here we have section 8 companies which are typically for your promotion of particular kind of object. So central government has to give permission for all these kind of things. Is there maximum and minimum? Yes, Swati, you tell me what is the maximum and minimum limit for charitable companies. If it is a private company, then 2 and 200 is the maximum limit. And if it is a public company, then 7 and unlimited number of members for public company. Very good, all those who have sent the answers. So children, all these companies limited by shares and guarantees, they can either be a public or a private company. So company जो section 8 company है वो या तो public company होगी या private company होगी, but words नहीं use करेगी after its name. Okay. Both if the company is not owned by a company. Yes, unpaid shares are still. Yes, Ishika Roy, that's correct. Wonderful answers given by all of you. Aline, Komal Preet, good. Yes, Maurya, Rakhi, Naman, Sadaib, all of you are correct, children. Okay, now my class is back. I can see what you're writing. Okay, now revocation of license, minimum to maximum 200 is absolutely correct, Jolie Joseph. That's good. Bhumika Saini, 1% in small companies, I told you. Section 8 company can never be an OPC and it can never be a small company. Here you can read in the small notes that they have given for you. Section 8 companies can never be an OPC and it can never be a small company. Okay, we have already done this points in the significant points of the others also. All right. So what is the meaning of revocation of license? Revocation means cancellation. So when does my license gets cancelled? So law says anything you try to contravene the provisions, you do any kind of fraud activities, you violate the provisions of the Section 8 companies, then central government will cancel the license that has been issued to you. So if Section 8 companies start giving dividend to its members, no, ma'am, this is not allowed. They cannot do that. And instead of providing free education, they start charging money from the females that we have decided to do free education. Now they are commercializing the transactions. Any kind of fraud you're doing, your license will get cancelled. ठीक है, point number 1 तो ये हो गया. Any contravention we do, any violation we do, our license gets cancelled. Point number 2 इसको mark कर लेना. What will happen on revocation? After cancelling, revocation means cancelling. After the license has been cancelled, registrar will add the word limited or private limited against your company's name. And now you become proper private or public limited company. You are no longer a Section 8 company. So in order to be a Section 8 company, you simply have to use the revenue for the promotion of its subjects and you cannot give dividend. If you try to change any of these provisions, registrar will cancel your license of central government and the name जो हमने बनाई थी TJ एजुकेशन कंपनी के पीछे नाम लग जाएगा टीजे एजुकेशन प्राइवेट लिमिटेड और टीजे एजुकेशन पब्लिक लिमिटेड कंपनी पब्लिक लिमिटेड के साथ वर्ड लिमिटेड लगता है ओके and central government point number 3 central government will also give a notice for hearing so before cancelling an opportunity of being heard will be given both these members will be asked to come and present themselves. So children, let me ask you a question. जो हमने example लिया था उसमें हमने तन्मय and जिया वालिया दो ही लोग लिए थे. So what name should I can it be a public company or a private company? What should I be adding if there are minimum 2 members we are having? Can we say that now it becomes a public limited company? Ritu, in case law, we also, yes, Ritu, you have to write the facts of the case also whenever you are defining any case. बट बच्चे आपको क्वेश्चन में जो दिए होंगे उसके फैक्ट्स ऑफ द केस लॉ लिखने हैं, आपको केस लॉ के फैक्ट्स नहीं समझाने. Very good, Komalpreet. Definitely, it becomes a private company. Why? Because minimum number of 2 members. And what is the minimum required for public company? If I want to add the word public, then how many number of members will be required, children? फिर रुक गया आपका ये. 7 members will be required. Good. It becomes a private limited company. And ma'am, for making it public, it can't be a public company because it can only be a private company. Very good. Correct answers given. And if you want to register it as a public company, then minimum 7 members will be required. So revocation of license is also clear, and this order of central government will be final. They will ask them to get yourself registered and form a single company, or it can ask you to amalgamate yourself. अब ये word amalgamate बहुत interesting है. The word amalgamate means the government can also ask you to merge yourself with another company. So, for example, there is another company, AB Private Limited, which is running in the same business of providing education to females. So, they can ask you that TJ Limited, please merge yourself, register yourself, and add yourself into the same company, and then you will get the same rights, powers, and authorities as given to the previous company. So, you can form a single company with those which have the similar objects. And what if you try to contravene the provisions? What is the penalty? Penalty means आपको क्या fine charge होगा? What will be the fine that you have to pay? What punishment will be given by law to you if you contravene the provisions? It says if any default is made, then the company will be punishable with a fine of 10 lakh rupees. And it can also extend to 1 crore rupees, children. See, government is involved. Na? That's why central government Section 8 companies को बहुत ध्यान से सेटअप करना होता है. आप कोई भी गलती करते हो तो 10 लाख से लेकर 1 करोड़ तक का फाइन चार्ज हो सकता है कंपनी के ऊपर. एंड डायरेक्टर्स हु आर इन फॉल्ट विल बी फाइंड फॉर 25,000 व्हिच मेक्स 10 to 25 lakh. So please make a chart like this, write the heading fines and penalties, how much fine is charged to the company if it contravenes the provisions, how much fine is to be paid by directors. Company's fine can be 10 lakhs up till 1 crore limit. Director's fine can be 25,000 up till 25 lakhs limit. इस तरह से चार्ट बनाकर पेनल्टीज एंड प्रोविजंस को लर्न कर लेना. So Section 8 companies are promotion of commerce. Minimum requirement of share capital will not apply. जितनी भी share capital आप लाना चाहते हो, you can bring in and start the business. Can I use the profits for any other objective? No, ma'am. You can only use it for promotion of the objective for which this company is formed. We will not declare a dividend. Central government's license is taken. If any condition is revoked, we cancel the license. What happens on cancellation? It converts you into private or public limited company. It winds you up, or you can amalgamate yourself with another company. How many days notice is required to be given? 14 days notice is to be given. So in general, when a company calls a meeting, 21 days notice is given, means 21 days beforehand the notice is given. However, in Section 8 companies, only 14 days notice can be given. There is no requirement of minimum number of directors or independent directors, and neither you are required to form any remuneration committee. So all these are the requirements of the companies. When you go to CA Inter, you study about all these directors, appointment, independent directors. However, for Section 8 companies, these provisions are not applicable. And a very important thing, which I somehow believe the examiner can ask you, can a partnership firm be a member of Section 8 companies? So we have A, B, C, the shareholders, plus EF associates, a partnership firm wants to join in setting up a Section 8 company. So law says, yes, a partnership firm can also be a member of Section 8 companies, means otherwise partnership firm is not a separate legal entity concept, but for Section 8 companies, a firm can also be a member. तो प्लीज बच्चा ये पॉइंट्स आज लर्न कर लेना, नोट कर लेना. डोरमेंट कंपनी के बारे में भी पढ़ लेते हैं एंड देन वील टेक अ स्मॉल ब्रेक. व्हाट आर डोरमेंट कंपनीज? इट सेज डोरमेंट, स्लीपिंग, याद है? जैसे डोरमेंट पार्टनर था, स्लीपिंग पार्टनर, ऐसे ही कुछ कंपनीज को स्टेटस मिल जाता है डोरमेंट कंपनीज का. It means companies which are inactive companies. We have formed a company, but it is actually doing nothing. So you decided, ma'am, we want to get ourselves registered. So we thought that we will make an application to the registrar and we will set ourselves a company. AB Private Limited was set up, but we did not do any business for 2 years. काम कोई करा नहीं और हम कनाडा चले गए. कंपनी बनाई हमने. We formed up a company, made an application to the registrar, everything was done, and we went to Canada and we did not do any business in this company for 2 years. Neither any significant accounting transactions was done, nor any annual returns was filed. So हमने कंपनी में अंदर कोई बिजनेस नहीं करा, कोई फाइनेंशियल ट्रांजेक्शन्स नहीं करी, कोई उसकी फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स फाइल नहीं करी, एनुअल रिटर्न भी नहीं भरी फ्रॉम लास्ट 2 financial years. Then law will declare such a company as the status of dormant company. It becomes the inactive company. And what is the meaning of significant accounting transaction? Any transaction other than these, please, my kid. Any transaction other than these transactions. Means if you have done these 4 transactions, then also you can become a dominant company. So payment of fees to the registrar for registration, वो तो करना ही पड़ेगा. Payments made to fulfill the requirements, allotment of shares or maintenance of office and records. If you have done only these activities, then also you become an inactive or dormant company. Accounting transactions means for sale and purchase, subsidiary books maintenance, cash books, entries. That has been done, then it can be a normal company. But if nothing like that has been done and only these 4 things are being done, then it can still get the status of dormant company. So let me ask you a question. There was a company, AB Private Limited Company, which was opened up in April 2020. And it has made the allotment of shares and also made the payment of fees to the registrar. What did it do? It made the payment of fees to the registrar and it made the allotment of shares. And till 1st April 2023, it has not done any filing of the financial statements and annual returns. Can we call it as dominant company? Yes or no? It's for a future project. Very good, Sneha Singh, Aniket, Prasad, ऋषिकेश, अदिति शाह. 14 days वाला डाउट. अदिति शाह, जब हम सीएंट में जाओगे आप मीटिंग्स के बारे में पढ़ोगे तब आपको पता लगेगा नोटिस का 21 days का टाइम पीरियड होता है. अभी के लिए सिर्फ इतना ही याद रखना है कि सेक्शन 8 कंपनीज में यू ओनली हैव 14 days notice, not 21 days notice. Okay. All right. Let's move ahead. So yes, ma'am, it becomes a dormant company because only these 2 transactions are being done. Nothing more than this has been done. So it becomes a dormant company. All of you, those who have given the correct answer, that becomes a dormant company. That's good. Yes, it becomes an active company. So these are the companies formed for holding any future asset or only for the future transactions. And what are Nidhi companies? Nidhi companies are the kind of, mutual benefit societies. Like, for example, you must have seen your mothers or elder sisters who get together and form a kitty with their friends. Have you ever heard about this? Jaise females join an association and form a committee so that, just to inculcate the habit of saving, you are giving money in a common pool and on a particular date, the money is returned to one person. So similarly, mutual benefit society Nidhi companies are formed so that the society inculcate the habit of saving. So a new notification was made by the central government in the official gazette, which says that Nidhi companies should also be formed. Again, these are formed by the central government. Notification from license from central government is required to form this company. And these are the companies for encouraging the people to for the benefit of savings. Committee members just draw in the pool together, and as and when the requirement is there, they can withdraw from this common pool and they can utilize this money. And what are public financial institutions? All those non-banking institutions like LIC, Infrastructure Development Finance Corporation, UTI, that is Unit Trust of India. All these are the public financial institutions. These are the institutions, again, in which the government is holding a stake. They are formed under the Central or State Act, and 51%, again, 51% of the share capital is being held by the Central or State government. So what are the conditions to be notified as public financial institution? These are again the financial institutions These are not actually the banks, but they are another kind of institutions which are providing financial support to the general public. They are again set up by the Central and State Act, and 51% of the share capital is being held by the central or state government. So let's take a small break here, just go through the types of companies, and we'll quickly start up with the registration of companies after this. Let's move ahead, students. Okay, Miss Chaitra, in the chapter weightage that you wanted to know, it is out of 14 to 16 marks syllabus come from this chapter of your Companies Act, around 16 marks question. At times we have 6 marks and 4 marks ka to aata hi hai. At times it's 2 marks more or 3 marks more question. Okay, so the weightage is around 14 to 16 marks. Okay, now let's proceed ahead with incorporation and registration of companies. So we will be reading all these in simple terms that is written. Who are the promoters? I told you. Come on, tell me who are the promoters. So promoters are the persons, people who are going to set up with the company. Srinati ji is asking how many hours we have to study other than the class. So children, your classes will for law, they will be ending up soon. Now you'll be having for business communication, I believe. So please plan yourself at least minimum 1.5 or 2 hours should be given to each subject every day once you are done with your classes. So you have to plan that you have 4 different subjects and for 4 subjects should be divided equally. And once you're done with your classes, also at least 2.5 to 2 to 2.5 hours, all the subjects. Maybe if I'm studying for 3 subjects today, so I've done 2 hours law, 2 hours maths, and then 2 hours accounts. So I can study alternatively economics tomorrow and then again maths and law. So you have to decide how you have to put the efforts. But minimum 2 hours to law should be given at least on every alternatives. Yes, Swati, and they can be considered under PFI. Aditya Gupta, what are you writing? A person who has come up with an idea to promote the company. Very good, Mr. Moria. That's good. Excellent. Promoters are the persons who have come up with an idea. So if I have an idea today that I want to set up a shoe business, then I will be considered as the promoter because I have come with an idea and I will take the necessary steps for the registration of the company. So now another interesting question. They are the subscriber. It means it gives birth to a company. Very good, Namanpreet. So, Miss Palak, don't worry. You can ask as many doubts you want to ask in today's class as we are meeting for the last time today. But still, if anything, we'll try to finish all the doubts in this class itself. A person who come up with an idea, that's good. Promoters means Shriya, that's correct. Latika, it's correct. Starting of the business, very good. Harshita, that's good. Okay. Whose name is there in the memorandum will be the subscribers. Okay, Aniket, that's good. Okay, now tell me if I am a chartered accountant and I am giving a declaration that, okay, fine, this company can be set up, then will I also be considered as a promoter? Can all the lawyers, professionals, bankers, accountants who help the company in setting up, will they also be called the promoters? Yes or no? Please tell me. Will they also be considered as the promoters? Can we call them the promoters? Yes or no? No. Very good. Ms. Pratyush Nayak, in the end of the class, you can ask anything you want to know about that. Promoters, Dhruv Shah, that is what we're discussing. Promoter means the persons who have come up with an idea of setting up the company. Yes, because they're only rendering services. Very good, Shriya. Amar, that's correct. So please read this line carefully. Persons who are only acting in professional capacity are not regarded as promoters. So any accountant, any banker, any lawyer who is helping in setting up the company, they will not be the promoters. Only the people who are forming the company, who have the idea of setting up the company and they take the step for registration, they are only known as the promoter. Now it says how many people will come forward. Section 3 defines the minimum limits. If it is a public company, then ma'am, 7 or more members are required. If it is a private company, 2 or more persons will be required to form a private company. So here is the simple limit that they're giving. And if it is an OPC, then 1% company, 1% will be required to set up an OPC. Can Section 8 companies be OPC or a small company? Can we have Section 8 companies as OPC? Yes, ma'am, or no, ma'am? Yes, Madhulika, because they invest in the company, that's why they're known as promoters. Children, please answer me. Can Section 8 companies be OPC? Can the OPC be set up at Section 8 companies? No, ma'am, is the correct answer. Good. Okay, now let's move ahead. So, how the incorporation section 7 defines how the incorporation has to be done. Filing of the documents. So, number one thing, children, you will file all the documents. Where is the registration? Let's go in the presentation. It's more easier over here. Where is the registration? Let's open up the. So, this is your second presentation. All the presentations have been uploaded on the portal, students. So this is your second part of Companies Act. Here we will be discussing about your registration of companies. पहले registration discuss कर लेते हैं, फिर examination question paper करते हैं. So what is the steps? First of all, we have to file the documents with ROC. I told you what are the important documents. MOA and AOA means memorandum and articles. So memorandum will define all the object clause, what is the name of the business, address, all the people who are doing the business with us, and articles of association. Articles of Association is the document which gives all the rules and regulations of the business. So at what time the members will be coming, going, how the company will be functioning, all the rules are given in the Articles of Association. So they are the most important documents of any company and they should be signed by the subscriber and they have to be filed with the registrar of companies. Second will be the declaration requirements. The CA will give a declaration that all the documents are fine and the declaration will be signed and given to the ROC. The subscribers and first directors will sign the declarations. Address shall be given. You will give the address so that you should know, registrar should know where the correspondence has to be sent, where the certificate of incorporation has to be sent. All the particulars of every subscriber. Who is the subscriber? Who are signing the memorandum? They are the promoters. The promoters are now called subscribers. And all the subscribers in the Articles of Association should also be mentioned. And the persons mentioned in the Articles of Association, their particulars should be given. After the ROC is satisfied, ROC will issue a certificate of incorporation. A SIN number is given, corporate identity number. It is a SIN number. Corporate identity number will be given to the company so that it can maintain all its documents with this identification number. जैसे आज जीएसटी के लिए हम जीएसटी नंबर देते हैं, ऐसी कॉर्पोरेशन को कंपनी इनकॉर्पोरेट करने पे कॉर्पोरेट आइडेंटिटी नंबर दिया जाता है. If directors or shareholders try to give any false information, say for example, I'm staying in a resident of Chandigarh and I have given the address of Delhi. Any kind of false information I'm giving, fraud will be treated as under section 447 and a severe action will be taken against that person. Now, ma'am, do we have to learn section 447 of Companies Act? No, you don't have to learn. You simply have to remember where is the fraud section given. 447 is the penalty which will be imposed if any fraudulent information is given. And the law tribunal, National Company Law Tribunal is the association, is the organization which is set up in order to, let me just take you in a study. So National Company Law Tribunal will decide what kind of punishment has to be given if any person furnishes any wrong information. So from that presentation, you can simply learn the highlighted points. एक बार study में से भी पढ़ लेना, सारे subscribers ने sign करना है. All the people who are engaged in the formation of company, ये declaration subscribers की बात कर रहा है. You should not be convicted means आपको जेल नहीं हुई होनी चाहिए. You have not been punished for any offense if you are setting up a company. Address shall be given, particulars have to be given, and this is your issue of corporation, certification, corporate identity number will be given. Any false information has been given or suppression of fact. What is the meaning of suppression of material fact? Suppress कर देना means छुपा लेना. कुछ आपको सपोज एबीसी प्राइवेट लिमिटेड आप कंपनी इनकॉर्पोरेट करने जा रहे हो एंड इसके जो शेयर होल्डर्स है मिस्टर ए एंड बी they have been convicted, they were in jail from last 5 years and now you're trying to hide that fact. Any such kind of hiding of facts or false information, fraud will be treated under section 447 and penalty will be charged. What is National Company Law Tribunal? It is the tribunal, it is the corporate body which decides how the actions has to be taken for any fraud done by the company. It will either remove the name of the company, it will ask for the winding up of the company, or it will make the company's liabilities unlimited. It can remove the name of the company, it can ask for the winding up, or it can make the company unlimited, or it can pass such orders which are in the public interest. So public interest में जो भी उसके memorandum and articles में changes करवाने हैं, National Company Law Tribunal can make those changes done. And what is Spice e-form? This is interesting. वो कह रहे हैं आजकल जैसे सब कुछ online हो गया है, we are also studying online through Zoom platform, so company can also be incorporated. Ministry of Corporate Affairs. So what site will decide about the incorporation? MCA is the Ministry of Companies Affairs website. You simply have to go here, and for the ease of business, you can simply do the online filing of the forms, and your certification of registrations comes electronically. So simplified performer is given under Spice form. You can go to MCA website. You can see how the registration of companies happen online by filling up a Spice form. What is the full form of Spice? Simplified performer for incorporating companies electronically. So online you can do the setting. Now what happens? Section 9 tells you what happens after the company is registered. It will become a body corporate. It will have a separate legal entity. It will hold and dispose of the property in its own names. All the features of the companies that you have discussed with me on day one. Section 9 simply tells you that now the company becomes a separate legal entity. So there are many case laws given under Section 9. You can simply give a fair reading to them. For example, SS Junjunwala, it tells you that the company has perpetual existence. What is the meaning of perpetual existence? आप बताओ मुझे क्या मतलब होता है perpetual existence का कंपनी का? अगर सारे शेयर होल्डर्स मर गए हैं तो क्या कंपनी बंद हो जाएगी? So if all the shareholders have died, will the company come to an end? Yes, ma'am, or no, ma'am? Yes. What is the meaning? Very good. Excellent. Company continues to exist. So how does it come to an end, children? फिर तो कंपनी कभी खत्म ही नहीं होगी, बंद ही नहीं होगी. So it will come to an end only by liquidation or when its name is get struck off from the register of companies. This is what SS Jhunjhunwala case has held. Shareholder can buy share, but it is not by the property of the company. Property of company is different. Shareholders' property is different. A writ petition can be filed by a company means they can go to the High Court and the petition can be filed by the company or shareholders for the property of the company. Okay. Again, then state corporation versus commercial tax officer. Again, it was held that a company is a separate and legal entity. It enjoys its own legal status. In all these cases, this was purely held that the company has its own corporate character. The only interesting case law I want you to read is Heavy Electrical Union versus State of Bihar. इसमें क्या हुआ था? Entire share capital was contributed by central government and all the shares were held by President of India and other officers of central government. Now what happened? It says law says the company as a juristic person has a separate and legal identity. हमने सबने पढ़ लिया. हाँ मैम आपने बताया कि कंपनी के अगर हम सारे शेयर्स भी खरीद लें, अगर कोई होल्डिंग कंपनी सारे के सारे शेयर्स भी ले ले, तब भी जो एक सब्सिडरी कंपनी है वो अपने आप में एक सेपरेट लीगल एंटिटी होल्ड करती है. तो ये वाले स्पेंसर एंड कंपनी लिमिटेड के आगे लिख लेना. इन शॉर्ट वर्ड्स, even if a holding company is purchasing all the shares of another company, Then also the subsidiary company, then also the subsidiary company will continue to be a separate legal entity. Then also the company will be continued as a subsidiary company, remains a separate legal entity. This was held under Madras business, CW Madras case. Very good. Now it says, the law says a company has its own separate and distinct entity. The share capital was contributed by central government. तो एक company थी heavy electrical union. इसमें स्टेट गवर्नमेंट ने सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट में सारी शेयर कैपिटल होल्ड करी हुई थी एंड प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ इंडिया ने भी शेयर्स होल्ड करे थे. Now it says that does not make the difference in the position of registered company, and this company will not become the agent of president or government. स्टेट ऑफ बिहार एंड हेवी इलेक्ट्रिकल यूनियन में ये झगड़ा हुआ, लड़ाई हुई, तो उसने कहा कि आपकी जो कंपनी है उसमें तो सारा का सारा शेयर होल्डिंग सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट का है एंड प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ इंडिया ने भी शेयर होल्डिंग करी हुई है, तो अब तो ये कंपनी हमारी एजेंट बन गई, अब ये कंपनी सेपरेट लीगल एंटिटी नहीं रही. तो लॉ ने कहा नो, separate legal identity cannot be taken away from the company, even if government is holding your share capital, even if any company is holding all your share capital, then also that company in isolation enjoys the status of the separate legal identity. This is section 9 registration of companies, which has given you that once you are registered, एक बार आपका ठप्पा लग गया, स्टैंप लग गई कि आप एक रजिस्टर्ड कंपनी है, now you enjoy that separate legal identity concept. You do not become the agent of government. All right. So this is what we mean by registration of companies, and memorandum and articles define how the company has to be run. Let's quickly give a fair reading to the classification of capital, children. Children, classification of capital is again something you have been doing in accounts. I really want to do important questions from the second presentation. So इसको जल्दी से एक बार रीड कर लेते हैं. कैपिटल का मीनिंग क्या होता है, शेयर क्या होते हैं, शेयर इज नॉट अ सम ऑफ मनी, इट इज इंटरेस्ट दैट यू हैव इन दी कंपनी. So capital is basically used in the following sense. 5 types of capital we have under the Companies Act: nominal capital, issued capital, subscribed, called up and paid up capital. So nominal, authorized or registered capital क्या होती है? This is the maximum amount of share capital that the company can raise. So tomorrow A and B decided that, ma'am, we want to set up a company, we want to do business. So they said that 1 crore is our authorized capital. भी हमने maximum limit सोच ली कि 1 crore तक हम capital raise करेंगे. It is the fixed amount the company will need. It is not that company is going to start the business with 1 crore only. ये तो सिर्फ एक maximum amount है which is stated in the memorandum कि 1 crore तक हम पैसा लगा सकते. So this is the authorized and the nominal capital. Now capital issue कितनी होएगी, कितनी पब्लिक उसे टाइम टू टाइम सब्सक्राइब करती. So for example, we have sent the invitation from, we have accepted the invitation from the public, and public has purchased 80,000 shares. Now 80,000 shares for rupees 10 has been purchased, so 8 lakh will become our issued share capital which the public is going to invest and take. So how much is the subscribed capital? So if we have sent the subscription for rupees 10 per share and rupees 8 has been paid up, so it depends how much the call money has been invited. So all your share capital, chapter of accounts, the called up capital, call in arrears have to be reduced. Everything has to be studied in the subscribed capital. It means the capital which is subscribed by the members of the company. Nominal amount of shares taken up. So if rupees 10 was the share, so maybe for example, they have taken up, subscribed for 80,000 shares for rupees 10. And now rupees 8 was called up and they have paid up. Rupees 10 was called up and they finally end up paying rupees 8. So out of 8 lakh rupees, the subscribed capital that we have issued 80,000 shares into 10. Now we have the paid up capital for 80,000 into 8. So 6,40,000 was the actual paid up capital. So आपने 1 crore nominal capital नहीं देखनी, आपने 8 lakh subscribed and issued capital नहीं देखनी. If ever you want to make an investment in a company, you have to see how much is the actual paid up capital. So paid up capital is the actually capital invested in the business. It is the called up capital less calls in arrears. So whatever amount has been called up for payment and less the calls in arrears will be a paid up capital. So for investing in any company, you have to see the paid up capital of the company. What is shares? Shares are basically an interest in the company. यहाँ से definition आप learn कर लेंगे. Shares की definition दो तरह की share capital होती है, equity share capital and preference share capital. What is the meaning of equity share capital? The shares that you have invested in a company at the equity interest rate. It is a movable property, transferable. It says shares are the movable property. You can transfer your shares from one person to another. In case of a public company, it is easily transferable. Shares can also be numbered. Numbers have been given, a specific number, distinctive number is given to every share. It says equity capital is further divided into with voting rights and with differential voting rights. अब दो ही डिफरेंस होते हैं इक्विटी शेयर कैपिटल एंड प्रेफरेंस शेयर कैपिटल में. यू कैन सी इन माय presentation. I'm sorry, children, I'm running a little fast because we have to complete the syllabus today. We have to do the memorandum and articles as well. What is the type of share capital? What is the type of share capital? So equity shares versus preference shares. Equity share capital with uniform voting rights and equity share capital with differential voting rights. Now preference share capital are those which have preference over payment of dividends and capital. Tomorrow if your company is winding up, पहले preference shareholders को importance दी जाती है, फिर जो balance बचता है वो equity shareholders को मिलता है. तो यही फर्क होता है equity shareholders and preference shareholders का. So whenever the company is winded up, first preference shareholders, during the lifetime also preference shareholders get a preference for the payment of dividend, and when the company is wind up, preference shareholders will get the capital first. And equity share capital has two uniform voting rights. Uniform voting rights means I have invested 1% share capital, so I will get 1% dividend. If I have invested 3% share capital, so I will get 3% of the dividend. However, differential voting rights. Now, what happened? Tata Motors ने differential voting rights वाले एक बारी shares issue कर दिए. उन्होंने कहा these are the shares which for every 10 shares, one voting right will be given. However, they will get 5% of more dividend. So if I'm giving one share, one right has to be given. However, for differential voting rights, if you're holding 10 shares, तो आपको एक voting right मिलेगा. However, the dividend that you will get will be 5% more dividend than as compared to the normal dividends. So now equity share will not carry the similar voting rights. However, they are traded for the voting rights. So such kind of differential voting right shares were made by Future Retail, जैन इरिगेशन एंड काफी सारे लोगों ने पॉपुलरली डीवीआरस कहते हैं इसको. सो अगर आपको क्वेश्चन आ जाए एग्जामिनर, टाइप ऑफ शेयर कैपिटल, टू शेयर कैपिटल है, इक्विटी एंड प्रेफरेंस शेयर कैपिटल. प्रेफरेंस शेयर कैपिटल्स क्या होती हैं? जिनको प्रेफरेंस दी जाती है फॉर द पेमेंट ऑफ डिविडेंड एंड फॉर रीपेमेंट ऑफ कैपिटल. इक्विटी शेयर होल्डर्स कौन से होते हैं? विद वोटिंग राइट्स, विद डिफरेंशियल वोटिंग राइट्स. डिफरेंशियल वोटिंग राइट्स वो राइट्स हैं जिसमें आपको राइट्स तो इक्विटी शेयर होल्डर्स को कम मिलते हैं बट डिविडेंड ज्यादा मिलते हैं. मतलब अगर आपको 1% पार्टिसिपेशन करनी है तो आपको 10 शेयर्स होल्ड करने पड़ते. तो 10 इक्विटी शेयर्स कैरिड वन वोटिंग राइट मींस इफ यू होल्ड 10 शेयर्स देन यू हैव 1%. सो इफ यू होल्ड 20 शेयर्स यू हैव 2% वोटिंग. यूनिफॉर्म वोटिंग राइट्स में क्या होता है? 1 शेयर 1% राइट बट डिविडेंड इज नो. बट इन डिफरेंशियल वोटिंग राइट्स आपको शेयर ज्यादा होल्ड करने पड़ते हैं बट डिविडेंड 5% मोर डिविडेंड पे करा जाता है एज कंपेयर टू ऑर्डिनरी शेयर होल्डर्स. ऑलराइट, I think now let's move to the important examination questions that I have for all of you. It will be a kind of test for everyone. 10 minutes we will finish that and then we will wind up with the memorandum and articles. फटाफट से जल्दी से कर लेते हैं ये वाले क्वेश्चंस. ये सारी आपको पीपीटीज मैंने डाउनलोड कर दी हैं, अपलोड कर दी हैं आपके पोर्टल पे भी. You can refer to it. So this is your case law for holding and subsidiary company. I think this will take too long. We don't have much time. So please study. Question number 6 was given. Assessee has income in the form of dividend and interest. In order to reduce his tax liability, he formed 4 private limited companies and he transferred his investment in exchange of the shares. Income earned was taken as a pretended loan. Can A be regarded as a separate legal entity from private limited company he formed? November 2019, question number 6. Please, 3 marks question has come in the exam, children. Please read these questions and send me the answer for this one. What will be the answer for this one? Yes, equity shareholders have the ownership. That's correct. Classification we have studied in class 12. Very good, Kavya. I know you have studied it and you just simply have to revise it from here. Yes, Shruti, it's again the way Salomon has held the provision, section 9 के सारे case laws वही बात कहते हैं. Very good, Maurya. Correct answer. Very good, Namanpreet. Very good, Komal. Rahul Thakur, hello. Please send the answer. Okay, Gautam Verma, good. Inderjeet is saying, ma'am, please slow. Bacha, if I'll get slow, then how will you complete MOA and AOA? Okay, we'll try to be slow, but please, I wish that we complete the series. All right, corporate will be lifted. Very good. I would have appreciated if you would have given me the name of the case law. So, Dinshaw Manekji Pettit is the case law, which is given over here. This is how you have to frame your answers. We will not waste our time. Just read it. I have divided into the concerned provisions, facts of the case, and then you give the conclusion. This is how you have to write the answers. And one another question I wanted to do with you, November 2019 क्वेश्चन पेपर अगर आप देखोगे वहां पे कन्वर्जन का एक क्वेश्चन आया हुआ है, तो घबरा मत जाना. पहले ओपीसी की कन्वर्जन वाज पार्ट ऑफ अ सिलेबस, नाउ इट हैज बीन omitted. OPC now cannot be converted into any other kind of company. So this is now omitted with effect from 1st April 2021. Okay, now read this question carefully, Jan 2021, question number 1B, and send me your answers. There was a company registered as a public company and it has 245 members. Directors and relatives were 190, employees were 15. Ex-employees, the shares were allotted when they were employees 20. Others are 20 members, including 10 joint holders, holding shares jointly in the names of father and son. And the board of directors want to convert it into private company. They need advice of my all dear small future chartered accountant sitting over here in front of me. Please tell me, children, can the reduction of number necessary for conversion? तो कह रहे हैं हम ना इनको प्राइवेट कंपनी में कन्वर्ट करना चाहते हैं. एक पब्लिक कंपनी है, नाउ वी वांट टू कन्वर्ट इट इनटू प्राइवेट कंपनी. So do we, whether any reduction in the number of members is required? Do we need to reduce the number of members? Why he is asking this question? Because public company has any number of members, maximum number of members की कोई लिमिट नहीं. तो 245 मेंबर्स हैं, तो क्या हम प्राइवेट कंपनी बना सकते हैं? इसको कन्वर्ट कर सकते हैं? हमें नंबर ऑफ मेंबर्स रिड्यूस तो नहीं करने? प्लीज सेंड मी द आंसर्स. हाउ मेनी नंबर ऑफ मेंबर्स विल बी कंसिडर्ड इन दिस केस? स्वाति एन फटाफट से बिना पढ़े आंसर दे दिया. यस मैम, वी नीड टू रिड्यूस इट टिल 200. बच्चे चेक करो. वैदही इज आल्सो सेइंग यस. एवरीबॉडी इज सेइंग यस. Why do you think examiner would have given you this question? हाँ, मतलब उसने जानबूझ के लिख दिया 245 में, बेटा आप यस बता देना 200. The answer is no. Now apply your brains. क्यों है no? Oh my God. Excellent, Kavya. How have we calculated the number of members? We have to see the employees or relatives are not to be included. How can you say, children, go to the definition of private company, the number of members? We don't have to include the ex-employees. We don't have to include the employees. We don't have to include the relatives. We have to include the directors and relatives, 190 shares, and the 10 joint holders who are holding the share. Let me show you the answer. So now pay attention, all of you. Most of you have given the wrong answers. Very disappointing. So it says ABC Limited has 245 members in the company. Board of Director proposes to convert. So section 2 subsection 68, आपको अगर section याद नहीं रहेगा एग्जाम में, आप सिंपल लिखोगे, a private company man can limit the number of its members to 200. Provided where 2 or more persons hold the shares jointly, they will be counted as one. याद नहीं कल करा था हमने? अगर 2 शेयर होल्डर्स ने इकट्ठा शेयर होल्ड करा है तो उनको 1 शेयर होल्डर माना जाएगा. And also, ma'am, we did that the persons who are in the employment and who has been previous in the employment will not be counted. So now ABC Limited has directors and their relatives, employees, ex-employees, all these people. Directors and then relatives and joint holders, 190 plus 10, 200 are the total members. Therefore, when it is converted, it will not be required to reduce as the number of members are already within the limit of 200 members. अब समझ आ गया? Have you now understood, all of you? Good. Good. I know you have missed the line, Anjali. That's why you're writing this answer. So now you understand why it was important to do this question. Even if the time is a constraint, I'm trying my best to cover all the important questions so that you don't miss out anything, children. 6 मार्क्स का मई 2019 में डायरेक्ट क्वेश्चन आया हुआ है चैरिटेबल पर्पस सेक्शन 8 कंपनीज के बारे में सारा जो हमने पढ़ा है वो लिखना है कैसे सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट का लाइसेंस मिलता है किस पर्पस के लिए कंपनी आती है रेवोकेशन अगर हो जाएगा तो क्या हो सकता है वाइंड अप हो सकता है अमेलगमेशन हो सकता है एडिंग द वर्ड्स लिमिटेड एंड प्राइवेट एक और क्वेश्चन करके देख लेते हैं एबीसी लिमिटेड हैज अलॉटेड इक्विटी शेयर विद वोटिंग राइट्स 15 crores and non-convertible debentures 40 crores. The total paid up capital is 100 crores and the non-convertible debentures are 120 crores. Define associate company and tell whether both the companies are associate company, yes or no. Good. All those who have written, ma'am, yes, now got the point. So that's nice. Send me the answer for this one. Thank you so much, Mr. Praveen Kumar. And you are also best of the students, I must say. Yes, ma'am, they are associate companies. Okay. No, because it's hold less than 20%. No, yes, no, yes. Okay, let's quickly see the answers. So you have to take 20% of the shareholding. नॉन कन्वर्टेबल डिबेंचर्स को तो हमने कंसिडर ही नहीं करना था हमने कौन सी कैपिटल को कंसिडर करना है फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल 20% of the shareholding has to be seen for having the significant influence that is paid up capital and convertible preference share capital. Over here, the equity shares is 15 crore, which is less than 20% of the share capital of 100. आई डोंट नो आपने किसका 20% करा है आपको 100 करोड़ का 20% करना था नॉन कन्वर्टेबल डिवेंचर्स को नहीं देखा जाएगा 100 करोड़ का अगर आप 20% करते हो तो 15 करोड़ नहीं आएगा आपको 20% होल्डिंग ऑफ दिस 20 करोड़ अगर होल्डिंग होती उसने बोले कितना होल्ड कर रहा है 15 करोड़ होल्ड कर रहा है तो 20 करोड़ अगर वो होल्ड करता तभी 20% होल्डिंग आनी थी देयरफॉर इट इज नॉट मीटिंग द रिक्वायरमेंट इज नॉट complied holding of non-convertible debentures has no relevance वो इन unnecessary information आपको दी हुई थी कंफ्यूज करने के लिए both of them will not be considered as the associate companies. Thank you so much, Mrs. Jolie Joseph. I'm love such testimonials and comments that you give me, and that is one thing which I love to teach all my students. Thank you. All right, now let's move ahead. Classification of capital is also done, types of shares, and now we move ahead to memorandum of association. We'll do memorandum and I'll just take 1 minute break after that. So what is memorandum of association, children? Memorandum is a very, very important document of a company जो एक कंपनी का ऑब्जेक्ट बताता है कि कंपनी क्या करती है व्हाट द कंपनी इज इन It tells the shareholders, corporates, and everyone about the powers and activities and the purpose for which the money will be used. So if I am going to set up a shoe business, my memorandum will say object of Herlene's company is to manufacture and sell shoes. And these are the objectives, powers, and activities. And so that the shareholders, tomorrow, the people who want to invest in my company, they will read my memorandum and then they will take a decision कि हमने इस company में invest करना है या नहीं करना. So the purpose, we know that it is a shoemaking industry. I'm interested in this company, then I'll invest. Say, for example, you are into shoe business and I'm a shareholder who want to invest in manufacturing of clothes. Will I invest in your company? No. I have read your memorandum. Your object clause does not meet my requirement. Therefore, I will not invest. So it tells you the purpose for which the company is set up. All these clauses, if examiner asks you what is memorandum, you will give the definition number one, and you will tell all the clauses, 6 clauses, which are included in the MOA. Number one, name clause. What will be the name of the company? What name are you going to set up? Is it the same name which has already been set up with the company? Then you cannot use that name. What is the registered office where you are going to open up your office? That clause includes the address of your office. What is the object for which the company is being set up? Is it a company limited by shares, or it is unlimited company, or company limited by guarantee? It is given under liability clause. And capital clause will tell us how much share capital, nominal, authorized share capital that you're going to start up the business with. Association clause. OPC will also include one more clause. Can you tell me from the study material what clause is to be included in OPC? In case of OPC, you need to include one more clause. Yes, tell me. OPC includes another clause. Thank you, Inderjeet, Prajapat, and thank you, Mr. Siddharth. Yes, Neha, it's a public document. Voting rights are given. That's good. What clause is given for OPC? Okay, many of you have got it right. Nominee clause, excellent. So you have to give the name of nominee also, because if OPC, one person is the member, if he dies, who will be taking up this company? Okay. Now see 6 marks question direct आया हुआ है November 2019 question number 5 में B part 6 mark question. MOA is a charter of a company. Discuss the brief contents. If such a question comes, please write down this definition of MOA and give all these clauses. Write 2 lines in detail about each clause and also give the reference of doctrine of ultravires. Just the reference, क्योंकि उसने यहाँ पे आपको कंटेंट्स पूछे हैं मेमोरेंडम के, अल्ट्रावायर्स नहीं पूछा. तो अगर ऐसा क्वेश्चन आएगा तो आपने डेफिनेशन एंड ये क्लॉजेस एक्सप्लेन करके आना. Now, what is doctrine of ultrawires? Doctrine of ultrawires means beyond your power. Now, law says company cannot go outside its object clause. Whatever my memorandum is telling, if I am telling you that I am into shoe business, then I can only do the business related to that shoes. If I'm into construction business, my memorandum say I am into construction business, then I will only do the construction work. I will not do any other financing. But this Ashbury Railway Carriage Company made a mistake. What does this company done? Mr. Rich was a person. So this is another day of hearing 2 interesting stories I'm going to tell you. So I always tell my students, case studies is one thing जिसको आपने short stories समझ के लर्न करना है. आपने कॉन्ट्रैक्ट एक्ट में भी बहुत सारे केस स्टडीज पढ़ी होंगी. आप मुझसे हमेशा पूछते थे ना कैसे लर्न करना है. अब जब आप अपना रिवाइज करने बैठोगे तो चिनाया वर्सेस रमाया इमेजिन करना, वो मेटर्नल अंकल की बात हो रही है, वो बच्ची थी, कैसे उनके बीच में कॉन्ट्रैक्ट हुआ था. एंड बैल्फोर वर्सेस बैल्फोर, हस्बैंड वाइफ का रिलेशनशिप, डोमेस्टिक एग्रीमेंट्स कैसे था और कॉन्ट्रैक्ट में क्या डिफरेंस है. सो जस्ट मेमोराइज दीज काइंड ऑफ स्मॉल शॉर्ट स्टोरीज. आज हम मेमोरेंडम के बारे में जो पढ़ने जा रहे हैं, अगेन अनदर स्टोरी यू हैव टू कीप इन योर माइंड. इसको एक बार रीडिंग कर लेना, टेबल ABCD. ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं है, बट जस्ट जनरल इन्फॉर्मेशन यू शुड. ये सारे क्लॉजेज है जो हमने कवर करनी है अभी नोट्स में. डॉक्ट्रिन ऑफ अल्ट्रावायर्स हम कवर करने जा रहे हैं. दिस इज द स्टोरी दैट आई एम गोइंग टू शेयर विद यू. एशबरी रेलवे कैरेज वर्सेस रिच में क्या हुआ था. तो जब भी आप केस लॉज को एक शॉर्ट स्टोरी इमेजिन करके मन में याद रखोगे तो आपके लिए बहुत सिंपल हो जाएगा. Children, law is very, very simple, let me tell you. And keep reminding yourself after the classes also end that I can do it. इट्स वेरी सिंपल, कुछ भी नहीं है यार, कहानी तुम्हें छोटी छोटी स्टोरीज मुझे याद रखनी है। उन प्रोविजंस के साथ मेरे केस लॉज है, यही केस लॉज आपको बाद में सीए इंटर में पास कराते हैं, बहुत इंजॉयबल लगते हैं। अभी हम बहुत पहली बारी पढ़ रहे हैं, फ्रेश पढ़ रहे हैं, तो हमें थोड़ा सा टफ तो लगता है, नो डाउट इन दैट। बट जस्ट फॉल इन लव विद योर सब्जेक्ट। खुश होकर पढ़ना है जब भी पढ़ना है। व्हेनेवर यू ओपन अप अ बुक, यस आई एम गोइंग टू बी अ चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट सून, कीप दैट स्पिरिट imbibed within yourself. डोंट हैव दोस टेंस लोग, यार पापा ने बोला सीए करनी है इसलिए पढ़ना पड़ रहा है, पढ़ाई तो करनी पड़ेगी, ऐसे दुखी होके बिल्कुल नहीं पढ़ना है। इफ यू आर माई स्टूडेंट्स, यू विल ऑलवेज स्टे पॉजिटिव एंड मोटिवेटेड whenever you open up any of your books, whether it's economics, maths, accounts, law, anything. That positive motivation has to be there. I told you when I met you on the day one, and on the last day also, I'm telling you one thing that you have to remember: hard work plus motivation is your key to success in CA Foundation, in entire CA journey, in fact. So अगर आप खुश होके पढ़ोगे, मोटिवेटेड रहोगे एंड पॉजिटिव थॉट प्रोसेस रखोगे, आई विल डू इट, then definitely you will do. I'm sure about that. No one can beat you if you have done the hard work, if you have really done the hard work. हार्ड वर्क क्या होता है मैम? मैंने प्रॉपर नोट्स बनाए, मैंने स्टडी की एक एक लाइन पढ़ी है, मैंने आपके नोट्स पढ़े हैं, मैंने मॉक टेस्ट पेपर्स आरटीपीज रिवाइज करे हैं, तैयारी पूरी करी है। तो गॉड ऑलवेज हेल्प दोज हु हेल्प देमसेल्व्स। ऐसा नहीं करना बच्चे की तैयारी करे बिना आप फाउंडेशन के पेपर में जा रहे हो और फिर बोल रहे हो रिजल्ट नहीं आया, फिर गलत। तैयारी करोगे, पूरी करोगे, मन से करोगे, तो डेफिनेटली यू विल पास। ऑलराइट, सो लेट्स कम बैक टू एशबरी रेलवे कैरेज। सो कहानी का टाइम हो गया है, दोबारा सुनते हैं। सो दिस इज मिस्टर रिच हु केम टू दिस कंपनी, एंड दिस कंपनीज ऑब्जेक्ट क्लॉज वाज, क्या था इसका ऑब्जेक्ट, कंपनी करती क्या थी? द ऑब्जेक्ट क्लॉज वाज टू मेक, सेल एंड लेंड ऑन हायर रेलवे कैरेज एंड वेगन्स। रेलवे वेगन्स होते हैं जो हम ट्रेन के डब्बे होते हैं, कैरेजेस एंड वेगन्स बनाती थी, कब बनाती भी थी, सेल भी करती थी, एंड लेंड ऑन हायर, रेंट पे देती। And it also carries on the business of mechanical engineers and general contractors. It was also into purchase and sale of work mines. Work mines means जो mines होती है, जो sites होती है, उनकी sale purchase करती थी या land lease पे देती थी. And also it was working as the merchants and agents for coal and timber. Now this Mr. Rich came to them and he said, look, the directors of these companies, I need some money for financing my railway line in Belgium. So he was setting up a railway line in Belgium country, Belgium. And he said that I want your financing. I want you to finance my construction. Company said, okay, they signed the contract. Now this Mr. Rich has not read the object clause of the memorandum of the company. It nowhere says that the company is into financing. कहीं मैंने पढ़ा कि कंपनी फाइनेंस करती है? नो मैम, आपने तो कहीं नहीं पढ़ा। आपने तो कहा कंपनी मेक सेल करती है, कंपनी मैकेनिकल इंजीनियर्स एंड जनरल कॉन्ट्रैक्टर्स का काम करती है, कंस्ट्रक्शन में है बेसिकली ये कंपनी, इज इनटू कंस्ट्रक्शन, इट इज नॉट इनटू फाइनेंसिंग। मिस्टर रिच ने कॉन्ट्रैक्ट साइन करवा लिया। Then later on, company said, okay, fine, we are getting good money from Rich. Let us ratify this act. Ratify means इसको approve कर देते हैं. We will ask the directors to pass a special resolution and let's include this kind of work also. The company repudiated the contract as ultra wise. Later on, the company said, oh, director said, okay, this cannot be done. This is an act which is ultra wise. What is the meaning of ultra wise? Beyond our powers. Law says you cannot do anything outside the object clause of the memorandum. And this construction तो हमारा काम है, but financing हमारा काम नहीं है. So this was outside my object clause. रिच को बड़ा गुस्सा आता है, वो कहते हैं आपने ब्रीच ऑफ कॉन्ट्रैक्ट करा, आपने कहा था फाइनेंसिंग करोगे, आप कर नहीं रहे हो, तो मैं आपको कोर्ट में लेके जाऊं। कोर्ट में चले गए। कोर्ट में जाके रिच ने कहा, देखो जी इनका सेकंड क्लॉज पढ़ो, वहां लिखा हुआ है जनरल कॉन्ट्रैक्टर्स, वर्ड लिखा है, सो दैट मीन्स जनरल कॉन्ट्रैक्टर्स का काम फाइनेंसिंग इंक्लूड होता है। तो लॉ ने कहा, प्लीज रीड द मीनिंग ऑफ जनरल कॉन्ट्रैक्टर्स इन फुल। इट सेज कैरिंग ऑन द बिजनेस ऑफ मैकेनिकल इंजीनियर एंड जनरल कॉन्ट्रैक्टर्स, मीन्स जो इंजीनियर्स कंस्ट्रक्शन में हेल्प करते हैं, ये उसकी बात कर रहे हैं। जो रेलवे वैगन्स, रेलवे कैरेजेस बनाने में इंजीनियर्स की हेल्प चाहिए, उसका ये काम कॉन्ट्रैक्ट पे लेते हैं, ये फाइनेंसिंग नहीं करते हैं। General contractor was associated with mechanical engineers. It has to be read in connection with company's main business. Therefore, they cannot make any such kind of contracts. So hence, rich को क्या करना पड़ा? Rich को loss हुआ. company was protected because ultra vires contract can never be binding on the company. So it says any contract which is outside the preview, any contract which is outside the MOA of company is not binding on the company means company will not be held liable. बस ये summary याद करना. That means company will not be held liable because it is not in its subject clause. It is the duty of the shareholders to read the memorandum and articles before they want to invest in the company. So this is what is written in the doctrine of constructive notice. एक सेकंड पहले इधर आ जाते हैं, इसको कंप्लीट कर लेते हैं. Doctrine of constructive notice says, doctrine of ultra vires says that we should read the memorandum. If you have not read the memorandum, then who is responsible? Outsiders are responsible. Doctrine of constructive notice also says that whenever you want to make any investment in the company, it is presumed that you have read the contents. If you have not read, it is your fault. So if anyone makes any contract beyond the power of the company will not be held liable, outsiders will be held liable. However, doctrine of indoor management interesting बात कहते हैं. वो कहते हैं जो आर्टिकल्स ऑफ एसोसिएशन में लिखा हुआ है ना, दैट इज रिटन इन दी रूल्स एंड रेगुलेशंस. फटाफट से देख लेते हैं आर्टिकल्स ऑफ एसोसिएशन क्या कहता है. अगर आपको आ जाए डेफिनेशन तो आपने डेफिनेशन लिख देनी है. आर्टिकल्स आर द बायलॉज ऑफ द कंपनी which tells you that how the company is going to function, how the management of the company is done. So all the rules and regulations and management of the company is given in the articles of association. If anyone asks you about the contents and models, तो इसको as it is learn कर लेना. Articles में regulations दिया जाता है, inclusion of matters दी जाती है. Entrenchment means of how you can protect something. Those kind of provisions are also given in the articles of association. Just give it a fair reading. 5-6 points है, घबराना नहीं है, इनको as it is learn कर लेना. In case examiner asks you 3 marks question for the articles contents. बट ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट इसमें मेमोरेंडम एंड आर्टिकल्स का डिफरेंस आ सकता है, डॉक्ट्रिन ऑफ अल्ट्रा वायर्स आ सकता है, डॉक्ट्रिन ऑफ इंडोर मैनेजमेंट आ सकता है. वो ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट. डिफरेंसेस क्या है? मेमोरेंडम आपको ऑब्जेक्टिव बताता है कंपनी का, आर्टिकल्स आपको रूल्स एंड रेगुलेशंस बताती है. मेमोरेंडम आपका कंपनी के साथ आउटसाइडर्स के साथ एसोसिएशन बताता है, आर्टिकल्स आपकी कंपनी एंड आपके मेंबर्स का एसोसिएशन बताता है. बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट लाइन. तो कहते हैं आर्टिकल्स में जो हो रहा है वो विद इन द डोर्स ऑफ द कंपनी हो रहा है. कोई भी चेंजेस हो रही है, कोई भी चीजें हो रही है, वो विद इन इनसाइड द कंपनी हो रही है. नाउ व्हाट हैपेंस? एनीथिंग व्हिच इज हैपनिंग इनसाइड द कंपनी, आउटसाइडर्स कैन नॉट बी हेल्ड लायबल. तो एशबरी रेलवे कैरेज में हमने क्या पढ़ा? जस्ट राइट डाउन दिस. डॉक्ट्रिन ऑफ कंस्ट्रक्टिव नोटिस. डॉक्ट्रिन मीन्स अ प्रिंसिपल. डॉक्ट्रिन ऑफ कंस्ट्रक्टिव नोटिस भी यही कहता है. If you have not read the memorandum and articles, you made a mistake, outsiders will be held liable. But डॉक्ट्रिन ऑफ इंडोर मैनेजमेंट, अभी के लिए इसको लिख लो, आराम से जब रिलैक्स होकर पढ़ोगे तो आपको सब समझ आ जाएगा. ये समरी हेल्प करेगी आप. डॉक्ट्रिन ऑफ इंडोर मैनेजमेंट कहता है एनीथिंग डन विद इन द कंपनी, outsiders will not be held liable. Who will be held liable? In this case, company will be held liable. Company will be held liable means company को नुकसान भुगतना पड़ेगा. Indoor management means anything which is being done inside the doors of the company. In that case, whatever liability arises, it will be the liability of the directors or shareholders of the company, and outsiders will not be held liable in this case. I give you 1 minute. Please write this down. Written? So now what happens is, It says in case of doctrine of constructive notice, it is assumed that you have read the documents before you come and try to invest in my company. You should have read the contents of my MOA and deal. But Endor management ने कहा कि what is happening in the internal affairs of the company, what is something which is to be authorized by the articles of the company, outsider will not be having any knowledge. अब आप अपनी कंपनी के अंदर किसी का बर्थडे सेलिब्रेट कर रहे हो तो बाहर वालों को थोड़ी ना पता है कि आप डायरेक्टर्स का केक कटिंग कर। हाँ, आप कंपनी का कोई बिजनेस एमओए के अकॉर्डिंग ऑब्जेक्ट क्लॉज कस्टमर्स के साथ डील कर रहे हो, वो मैं कंस्ट्रक्टिव नोटिस में पढ़कर आपके साथ डिसाइड कर सकती हूँ। बट एनी मीटिंग्स विच आर टू बी हेल्ड विद इन द कंपनी, any decisions that are to be taken within the company, in the articles of the company, outsiders are not held liable for that. So this is what was happened in another royal interesting case, that is Royal British Bank versus Turkmen. Very very important, बहुत बार एग्जामिनर आपको इस पे क्वेश्चन देता है। We have 12 minutes, don't worry, हो जाएगा। फटाफट से इस केस को समझते हैं। Facts of the Royal British Bank versus Turkmen में कहता है Turkmen was the liquidator of the company. So there was a company which went into liquidation and उसके liquidator appoint हुए थे Mr. Turkmen. So who was a Turkmen? Turkmen was a liquidator of a company. What did he does? It said this company was formed under Joint Stock Companies Act and the company has given a bond of £2,000 to the Royal British Bank. So company ने Royal British Bank के साथ एक bond sign करा था and that was a secured bond. And this bond was signed by two directors and the secretary of the company. हमने पढ़ा ये कॉमन सील वाले में साइन किसने करा है? दो डायरेक्टर्स ने, सेक्रेटरी ने भी साइन करा है। And company was sued. It was held that the directors only had the power to borrow up till a particular amount. एक कंपनी की रेजोल्यूशन पास करके ये डिसीजन लिया गया। सो क्या हुआ, कंपनी ने 2000 पाउंड्स का बॉन्ड साइन करा था रॉयल ब्रिटिश बैंक से, उन्होंने 2000 पाउंड्स का लोन लिया हुआ। हाउएवर कंपनी के आर्टिकल्स में जो डायरेक्टर्स को पावर मिली थी बोरोइंग की, वो एक रेजोल्यूशन पास की जाती थी, वो डिसाइड करती थी कि कितना डायरेक्टर्स बोरो कर सकते हैं। रेजोल्यूशन तो पास हुई थी बट कितना अमाउंट बोरो करेंगे दैट वाज नॉट स्पेसिफाइड। इट सेज रेजोल्यूशन वाज पार्ट बट नॉट स्पेसिफाइंग हाउ मच डायरेक्टर्स कुड बोरो। सो बेटा आप मुझे बताओ, इसमें कंपनी की गलती है या रॉयल ब्रिटिश बैंक की गलती है? रॉयल ब्रिटिश बैंक सेड how do we know whether you have passed the resolutions or not, whether your directors had the borrowing power or not? This is company's matters to decide. So Royal British Bank can enforce their terms. They can say that the directors could borrow up till the particular amount. Articles were registered. They had the constructive notice, but bank is not deemed to know whether you have passed the ordinary resolutions or not. ये बैंक की रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी थोड़ी ना आपका पता करना कि आपने रेजोल्यूशन पास करी है। बॉन्ड को तो वैलिड माना जाएगा क्योंकि कंपनी की इंटरनल वर्किंग्स को देखना हमारा काम नहीं है। It is not our work to see the company's internal working. This is the Indore management which led to a conclusion that any changes which are happening within the company, it is company's responsibility. So I have a very important examination question also in this, which is given in my presentation. You can simply go through it as well. So Turkmen case में क्या held हुआ था? That if you have done any internal changes within the company, then outsiders will not be held liable. So this is all which we have discussed. I'll show you. ये हमने सारा पढ़ लिया है, एमओए भी कर लिया है, डॉक्ट्राइन ऑफ इंडोर मैनेजमेंट। ये देखो विद इन द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन अल्ट्रा वायर्स, अदरवाइज इंट्रा वायर्स हो जाते हैं। एंड आर्टिकल्स क्या बताते हैं? रूल्स एंड रेगुलेशंस फॉर इंटरनल मैनेजमेंट। डॉक्ट्राइन ऑफ इंडोर मैनेजमेंट प्रोवाइड्स प्रोटेक्शन टू आउटसाइडर्स। आपने अभी नोट्स में लिख ही लिया है। रॉयल ब्रिटिश बैंक वर्सेस टर्कवेट, ये कंपनी थी मई 2019, क्वेश्चन 1 4 मार्क्स का ए पार्ट में आया हुआ है। Sound syndicate company, its articles empowers the managing agents to borrow short-term and long-term loans. Mr. Liddell, the director, approached Easy Finance Company. So Mr. Liddell इस कंपनी के डायरेक्टर हैं और वो एक एनबीएफसी के पास गए, नॉन बैंकिंग फाइनेंस कॉर्पोरेशन के पास, कि हमें 25 लाख का लोन दे। लेंडर एग्री हो गया एंड उन्होंने लोन दे दिया। बाद में कंपनी ने लोन देने से मना कर दिया। उन्होंने कहा हमने तो रेजोल्यूशन ही नहीं पास करी थी, डायरेक्टर्स बोरो ही नहीं कर सकते। तो बैंक ने बोला अरे हमारी गलती थोड़ी ना, आप हमसे लोन लेकर आपकी कंपनी ने रेजोल्यूशन नहीं पास करा, आपकी मीटिंग नहीं हुई, इट इज नॉट आवर हेडेक, वी आर जस्ट नोइंग दैट वी हैव read your doctrine of constructive notice, anything happening within the indoor management we will not be held liable. So law said they actually passed by the company and lender should have inquired. उन्होंने बोला कि पहले आप पता कर लेते तो इंडोर मैनेजमेंट अप्लाई कर कर you have to tell us what is the correct answer. So how you have to write an answer? You will write that according to indoor management, people who are dealing with the company will not inquire whether the internal proceedings are being happening correctly or not. Stakeholders did not need to inquire whether the meetings were held or not, resolutions were passed or not. As an outsider, I'm not supposed to know whether you're holding your meetings, whether you're doing internal functioning properly or not. I am just going to have a matter of public knowledge. Internal things are not a matter of public knowledge. We are only trying to read whether the resolution has been passed or not. It says in the given question, Easy Finance Limited being external need not inquire about the resolutions if the company claims that no resolution company is bound to read. सो सेम केस एज इट इज टर्कवेंट वाले के केस के ऊपर आपको उसने समरी बनाकर क्वेश्चन दिया हुआ है। आपको टर्कवेंट केस नहीं एक्सप्लेन करना, बट आप रॉयल ब्रिटिश बैंक वर्सेस टर्कवेंट का रेफरेंस देकर इसका आंसर लिख सकते हो। And what are the exceptions to the doctrine of indoor management? Very, very important question. It says these are the three cases where company will not be held liable, neither outsiders will be held liable, but that particular director or the accountant who is making the mistake will be held liable. First case है actual knowledge of irregularity, where any director is intentionally borrowing beyond its powers. For example, आपने उसे कहा था director can only borrow up till 1,000 rupees, but director Mr. A went and borrowed 4,000 rupees. Here, director himself is doing a mistake, then that director will be held liable, not the company. Suspicion of irregularity. If any accountant is trying to sell the company, can the accountant sell a company? Accountant does not have the power of attorney and accountant के हाथ में authorization नहीं है. तो यहाँ पे आपको suspicion आ रहा है, doubt आ रहा है. तो in that case also company will not be held liable. Forgery का मतलब होता है fake signatures करना, forgery करना. So if any company secretary or directors have forged the signatures of the company, then that particular company director or company secretary will be held liable. Company will not be held liable. So indoor management tells you that the company will be held liable. Exceptions tells you that the company will not be held liable. So please अपनी study में लिख लेना, exceptions to indoor management are the cases where the company will not be held liable. So if there is any forgery, any irregularity, any actual knowledge of irregularity, company will not be held liable. That respective person will be held liable. And with this, thank you very much. Wishing you all the best for your exams. एक बार देख लेते हैं स्टडी में से भी कोई क्वेश्चन रहता तो नहीं करने वाला। डोंट वरी, 5-10 मिनट एक्स्ट्रा रुक जाएंगे अगर डाउट्स हैं तो, डोंट वरी। सो ये एक्चुअल एंड कंस्ट्रक्टिव नोटिस वाला पढ़ लेना। इसमें कंपनी विल नॉट बी हेल्ड लायबल, सस्पेशन ऑफ इरेगुलरिटी, अनंत बिहारी लाल वर्सेस डिंशा एंड कंपनी केस था। बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग केस था। कहते हैं कि अकाउंटेंट कहते हैं कि मेरे हाथ में पावर ऑफ अटॉर्नी है एंड आई एम गोइंग टू सेल द कंपनीज प्रॉपर्टी। So here accountant has no authority to sell it, therefore accountant will be held liable and not the company. And forgery का भी Ruben versus Great Finball Consolidated is a very, very interesting case now. It says that where the share certificate were transferred, company secretary who has fixed the seal has forged the signature. मतलब जो company secretary थी जिसने seal लगाई है उसने company के directors के नकली signature कर दिए। तो अगर कोई भी forgery का केस होता है, कोई भी ऐसा चीज है, तो ये इंटरनल मैनेजमेंट का केस है। therefore company should be stopped from denying the genuineness. The extending the indoor management will never cover any forgery case. Here the company and the directors who are at fault, particularly the company secretary who has made at fault, that person will be held liable. End of syllabus. Good. So now, if you have any doubts, please feel free to ask. Financing in Hindi, Mr. Om Gupta, where you are taking any loan or finances from another company or a bank. Thank you, Anshika Jain. Thank you, Asha. Thank you, Shamya Khan, and all the best to all of you children. Yes, Mrs. Tisha Shukeen, that's correct. And now, why I can't see more of your queries. The last that I'm getting is at 3:42. Please, students, in case you have any queries, please feel free to ask. Sir, again, the site has stopped working. Sir, the query site is not working. Yeah, in case the students want to ask anything, they have 2-3 minutes. Yes, sir, now it's working. Notes given. Yes, Vanshika Agarwal, they are absolutely sufficient for you to learn for CA Foundation. Gaurav Raj, the answers that I've given in my presentation, जैसे कि concern, provision, facts of the case, conclusion. If you'll refer to my presentations, you have to do all the things in that way, okay? For asking the writing the answers, descriptive questions को आपने वैसे ही लिखना. Swati N, where any company is doing any kind of resolutions and changes within the internal working, then indoor management will be applicable. Yes, Kriti Kumari, partnership unit 3 is also uploaded now. Yes, Vivekanand, that's true. Again, Anshika, same revision tips. Make a timetable and follow it and keep doing and revising it. I hope the process of writing is clear, Gaurav Raj. Thank you so much, Miss Shruti Tiwari, and all the best to you. Thank you, P. Yamini, and I hope law continues to be fun for you. Thank you, Anand Goyal. Mr. Abhinav Tiwari, you can address any queries through this. Definitely, Mr. Amit, thank you so much. Yes, Manish Rana, Section 8 companies are kind of non-profit organizations which are working for the charity. Good, Sneha Singh. Thank you, Palak. Thank you. Writing practices, again, Bittu Singh, you have to do in the same way. Also, please refer to the suggested answers given on the ICI website. वहां से भी आपको काफी आइडिया हो जाएगा किस तरह से आपको आंसर्स लिखने हैं. Okay, Namanpreet, yeah, we have given you another question as homework. So you can refer to that was again the one of the mock test papers. You can refer from there on the website and you can see your answers. Yes, Mr. Gaurav Raj, I hope you have taken my words. Refer to my presentations. बच्चा उसमें मैंने आपको प्रॉपर बताया हुआ है कैसे आपने फैक्ट्स ऑफ द केस पहले प्रोविजन लिखनी है, फिर क्वेश्चन में से फैक्ट्स ऑफ द केस लेकर समरी लिखनी है एंड फिर कंक्लूजन लिखना है. आप अगर मेरी प्रेजेंटेशंस देखोगे उसमें राइटिंग पैटर्न बताया हुआ है, आप प्लीज उसे रेफर कीजिए फॉर द केस स्टडी क्वेश्चंस. Number 2, for the direct questions, if it is a 6 marks question, please write whatever is written in the study material in your own words. अगर छोटा क्वेश्चन है तो आपको उसका सिंपल स्ट्रेट टू द पॉइंट आंसर देना. All right. Pratyush, I already shared my CA journey. Still, if you want to know, I cleared all the groups in first attempts, and the consistency and hard work was again something which I have followed, and I want you also to follow the same. Aniket, marks recording kitne line ka answer? Again, I told you if it is a 3 marks question, like in the last class, I told you the recent question that has come, define capital, it was for 1 mark, and then the types of capital for 4 marks. Then you have to write all the types of capitals that we have discussed today. All right. Thank you so much, children. Thank you. Now I can only see the thank you messages. No more queries are coming. So sections are not compulsory. Thank you, Palak. Thank you, Vidushi. Thank you, Indraji. Thank you, children. Thank you so much. Thank you, Jolie Joseph. Okay, we'll try to do that as well. All right, students. Good luck. My good wishes with you. Still, if you feel that you have any of the doubts, you can address an email to the institute. I'll try to clear it as soon as possible. Otherwise, all the best, do well. And many of your doubts will get cleared when you listen to the previous lectures. So just go through the previous recorded lectures. Somebody is asking the direct questions. So we have discussed Bhumika Seni for these questions in the previous lectures also. So you can follow the recorded lectures for the same. Yes, Asha Begum, you can do the self-study along with the study material plus the recorded lectures. That will be sufficient. Definitely, you have to write the definition, Swati, in your own words you can write. Okay. Monica Chaudhary, you can refer to the mock test papers. I think it was the recent one for which you can refer to the answer in the previous class that we have done. All right. Thank you so much, students. God bless you. Do well and clear your exams soon. Goodbye. Take care. It was wonderful teaching you. And thanks to ICI for giving me an opportunity to meet you. Thank you so much.